Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's episode of Ever17. Today, our intrepid protagonists are hiding in the elevator, and I don't know, that feels kind of cheap. Like, they have to stay on the third floor, right? And the elevator's practically on the second floor, so I don't know. But we'll see how the rest of the cast reacts to their strategy. We held our breath, watching silently. No emergency light even lit the elevator. Just profound darkness and silence. I could hear you crouch next to me, breathing. I thought I could almost hear my heart. I hope he doesn't find us. Don't talk! Shh, he's here. Takeshi appeared at the bottom of the stairs. It seemed that he hadn't pinned down our position. He was still glancing around. My heart rate rocketed. It pounded in my ears. I put my hand on my chest as if to hold it in check. Oh, please don't let him find us. Takeshi just stood there. It was as if he were sure that we were around. It's strange. I could have sworn I heard footsteps over here. I guess it was just my imagination. It looked like he had finally given up. Whew. Just as I thought the crisis had passed. A sneeze welled up inside me. Why now? I clamped my hand on my mouth as I desperately tried to hold it back. Somehow I managed to keep it in. Two! Wait, goddammit, you. This is why we can't have nice things. Hey! I know someone's there. Who is it? He found us! Run! Well, don't say us. You could at least, give yourself up. Yeah, but where could we run? No problem. Leave it to me. The next instant, you threw yourself out of the elevator. Yeehaw! You made a spectacular dive, turning it into a stunning drop kick. What is this obsession you has with, kicking Takeshi? Because she did that in the last round too, right? That feels like it's not in the spirit of the rules. We fought well, but Takeshi found us. Can't stomp. A short while later, he found Sarah and Sora too. We met in the conference room. Alright, now I just need to get Tsugumi. Takeshi stepped on the can, looking satisfied. Still, it's kinda weird. Weird? What is? The can, when it was kicked before, it was still in the same place. Huh? I don't know what you're trying to say. I mean that the can should have been kicked, but it was still standing up. Wait, is Sora cheating? Is she, pumping the noise of the can being kicked into their earpieces? Because that would be super funny. And also totally cheating. Takeshi said this as he squished the can some more. It looked like no one had kicked it. Isn't it likely that the can was toppled and righted itself? Theoretically, it is quite possible. In the same place I put it? Yeah, that doesn't seem incredibly plausible. That is odd. But shouldn't you go looking for Tsugumi? Yeah, if you're gonna be a sore loser, you should at least go do that. I'm not the loser here, you guys are. Whatever. You're right. It's exactly as you say. You got it already. Now get out of here and search. You and Sarah waved Takeshi away. Jeez, you're so full of yourself. Doesn't even feel like I won. Takeshi left the room grumbling. Soon after that... Kabing! Clatter, clatter, clatter. The sound of a can being kicked rang out in the darkness. What was that? I have no idea, but... How's our chance? Do you think we should... I wonder if it's okay. In the confusion, we made our third escape. Hey, once you've been caught, it's against the rules to kick the can. We heard Takeshi shouting soon after. Of course, neither I, you, Sarah, nor Sora, none of us had kicked the can. Oh, that had to be Tsugumi again. She probably sneaked into the room without anyone noticing. That was what we thought. Yeah, that doesn't seem super likely anymore. This is too weird to have that simple of an explanation. Ultimately, Takeshi soon caught us again. He howled that we had cheated and started out to find us right away, so we didn't get far. Takeshi checked to make sure everyone was there and stepped on the can, even once for Tsugumi. The next time, nobody kicked the can. This time, the kid is it. Alright, so I count to 100, right? I took the can and sat in the chair with my face down. Alright, here I go. 1, 2, 3... They left the conference room fleeing around the floor. 100. I opened my eyes. I except the empty can by my feet. It was as far from the entrance as I could get it. Scanning the dark area around me, I didn't see anyone. Well, I guess I'll go looking. I decided to head off to check some rooms. Is this a relevant choice? I feel like it probably isn't. Nope, doesn't look like it. So, do I just do them in order? No, let's go to the ruins. Ruins sound cool. Lemurian Ruins. This attraction was designed with the motif of a lost continent believed to have sunk to the ocean floor ages ago. Standing there in the darkness in that eerie setting, it almost made me imagine that I had sunk to the bottom of the ocean. No, that was only half true. Scrunch. Huh? It sounded like a footstep. Ah, we got him. Is someone there? I wondered if it were my imagination. It wasn't. In the darkness, in the building in front of me was the dim outline of a person. But in the light and at that distance, I couldn't be sure who it was. It was like the person was holding their breath waiting for me not to notice. But he or she looked like she was ready to dash off in an instant. I thought that if I bumbled closer, the person would run away. I'd have to figure out who it was from afar. It had to be... You! I found you! Hmm? As if it had given up, the silhouette started toward me. How do you know it was me? Bingo. It looked like my hunch had paid off. Can stomp. I selected from the... Wait, why are there 4 areas left? That seems deeply suspicious. Let's go to the kiosk. Perhaps we will find some chicken sandwiches. Chicken sandwich shop. There's no sign of anyone there. Just in case, I peeked inside. Of course, there was no one there. This place was a waste of time. Hey now, chicken sandwiches are never a waste of time. I decided to go elsewhere. I wondered where they'd hid. Go to the control room, I guess? We headed to the central control room. I didn't think there was anywhere there for anyone to hide. Oh! The room was set up with the center surrounded by a giant monitor and console. There was Tsugumi. She sat slouching in the chair, staring blankly at the monitor. Tsugumi, I caught you. At my declaration, Tsugumi looked at me like I was a fly in her soup. She glared at me. I'm not playing. Come on, you already kicked the can twice. Takeshi might have fallen for it, but not me. I stepped on the can just to be safe. I selected from the... Okay, so that's... Wait, no, that still doesn't add up. Oh no, right, the chicken shop didn't have anyone in it, so now the numbers make sense. Except they still don't make sense, right? Because Sarah and Sora had to stick together. Alright, to the conference room. Wait, we started in the conference room, though. I returned to the conference room. There's no sign of anyone there. The can stood silently where I had left it. Just in case, I looked in the corners of the room. Of course, no one was there. This place was a waste of time. I decided to go elsewhere. I wonder where they hid. Let's go to the elevator hall. The elevator hall. There was no sign of anyone. Just to be safe, I checked inside the elevator that you and I had hid inside. Of course, there was no one inside. This place was a waste of time. Wow, I'm really bad at this game. I decided to go elsewhere. Where else was left? It's the rest area, right? I made for the rest area. At first, it looked like there was no one there either. But then I noticed something. One of the stone pillar silhouette in the open area was an odd shape. No, it was the top of the pillar that had something strange about it. I edged closer. There was definitely something there. From where I was, I couldn't tell exactly what that something was, but it was definitely a person. Maybe they thought they were acting like a koala. What did they intend to do if they fell? I mean, can you really call that hiding? I called out to the clinging something. Isn't that tiring? Sure looks dangerous. Well, you sure have a lot of guts. You're tougher than I thought, Takeshi. How'd you know it was me? Takeshi slid down the column. The only person stupid enough to hide there was Takeshi. Gotcha. I stepped on the can. Only Sarah and Sora remained. I walked around Dright's dock looking for the two of them. I heard footsteps in the direction of the conference room. I was sure it was Sarah. Gosh, I sure hope she isn't planning to kick the can. I made a mad dash for the conference room. At the entrance to the room, the two of them were just at the door, Sarah and Sora. I sprinted into the room on their heels. Gotcha, Sarah and Sora. Pata pata pata. But Sarah just ignored me and kept running. Her eyes were on the can. It was as if she knew where the can was. Damn, I thought I changed the location of the can. I also ran toward the can. Pata pata pata. Would she kick the can first? Or would I step on it first? Ah! Damn! The two of us tumbled to the floor. Ow! Ow! Oh. The next thing I noticed, I was on top of Sarah. Sarah's eyes were open, staring at me. God damn it. Don't do this to me. I barely managed to support my body with my arms so I didn't come into contact with her, but her face was closer to me than I had ever imagined. It felt like I might be sucked into her eyes, and I was captivated by her cute nose, slightly opened lips, and glimpse of her tongue. God fucking damn it. I felt her breath on my face. I came here for mysteries, damn it! She'd been running until that time, and I felt the heat rising from her skin. It smelled of sweat. The smell of our sweat mixed together. Why am I reading this? I want an adult. I want a refund. I felt the warmth of her body against me. It was hard to breathe. My mind started to go blank. My whole body stiffened and I couldn't move. It was as if our bodies were paralyzed as we lay there staring at each other. Sarah slowly raised up her cheek. Wait a minute, isn't the conference room also like where the jail is? Where like all the captured people have to go? So like everyone else is in the room watching them. Okay, you know how I kept saying like it's only awkward if you let it be awkward? Nope, this is definitely awkward no matter how awkward you want to let or not let it be. Sarah slowly raised up her cheek. Uh-oh, danger. She's mad. This was not what I should have been worrying about. The can. Where was the can? See, here are our priorities. Gotta win the game. I turned my neck, searching for the can. There it was. I jumped off of Sarah, pointed at her, and declared loudly, "Sarah and Sora, I gotcha!" And stepped on the can triumphantly. What a cad! This was the last stepping on the can. Jeez, he slaughtered us. That was twice as fast as Takeshi. When I was it, everyone was cheating. Wow, I can't believe you guessed everyone right in the dark. It's pretty amazing. Everyone crowded around me and started making a fuss. Nakyu, what are you talking about? Oh, Mayo, you don't know? This kid... As Yu placed her hand on my head, she explained how I had caught her and Takeshi. Hey, Tsugumi, give it up. Why don't you just come out and admit you were playing too? At some point, Tsugumi had returned to the conference room. Tsugumi sat in a chair pretending to be asleep and ignored Takeshi. I felt someone watching me and turned around. Sarah was looking at me strangely. I thought she might be angry again. It was just an accident. I avoided her look uncomfortably. That was the end of Kick the Can. In the end, it remained a mystery who kicked the can those times. We passed the rest of the night uneventfully. It was a peaceful time. I mean, during the sort of Sora reveal earlier, I was going on about the possibility of somebody having cloaking technology, right? That's like, I guess, my current theory as to what was going on with the can, like somebody was invisible. But it doesn't make sense who. Like, if you're gonna be messing around in the complex invisible, presumably you have better things to do than, like, participate, in a children's game, right? Like, presumably if you are intentionally hiding yourself from the rest of the cast, you're not gonna blow your cover to play tag. So, I guess by that reasoning, it sort of doesn't make sense for it to be someone invisible, if only because then their motive for participating in the game of tag doesn't make sense. So I don't know, I'm super confused here. I don't have a good theory for this one. I'll come back to it later, maybe. It was a peaceful time, and I decided to enjoy the satisfying rest. And then the complex exploded. Or imploded. Splash. I scooped up water with both hands and splashed it on my face. The instant it made contact, it sent a sharp shock to my brain. Ah! I snapped open my eyes, completely awake. I thought I had probably repeated this ritual several thousands of times. It was my way of refreshing myself in the morning. I lifted my face and wiped it with a towel. A smooth white counter, a sink, and a finely cracked mirror. I stared foggily at my reflection in the mirror. I passed Takeshi as I was returning to the corridor. Hey! Morning, kid. Hey, don't look so depressed, Takeshi. Nah, I'm just tired is all. Well, lots happened in the last couple of days. Are you tired? He literally just said that he was tired. I'm alright. Just need to wake up is all. See ya. Saying that, he headed off to the bathroom. I said ballroom. Ah, we're dancing now. Sarah and you were waiting in the conference room. Good morning! Good morning! I don't get it. What's so funny? The two of them seemed wired. Morning? Hey kid, you don't seem very good. You having trouble waking up? No, I'm awake. You sure? Wait, did they draw on his face? They totally drew on his face, didn't they? I know, he's not a morning person, or maybe he's got low blood pressure, like me. I don't know about that. Sarah didn't seem to have a problem with mornings, or like maybe just he has super bad bedhead. I was just glad that Sarah appeared to be in a good mood. I know all about it. I hate mornings. They're like hell on earth. I've destroyed more alarm clocks than I can count. Wait a minute, that reminds me. Sunday is like daylight savings time, isn't it? And I think it's a bad one. Like, I think it's a daylight saving that robs me of my precious hours of sleep. Damn it, now I'm sad. I'd forgotten, and now I remembered. What a troubling time we live in. Daylight saving is a blight upon my existence. The fact that I get an extra hour sometime in the fall, notwithstanding. There's also the possibility that I'm just misremembering completely, and this is the good one. But I'm like 70% sure that I'm right. May was always in the worst mood in the morning. I thought she might kill me today. But Naku got me in this wrestling hold. Enough, there are children around. I was getting a headache. Oh, that's why they're wired? That's funny. Maybe it was low blood pressure that made me not a morning person. Finally, when Takeshi came back, conversation turned to breakfast. Chicken sandwiches? But Tsugumi and Sora aren't here. That's true, but they'll probably show up eventually. With those two, you're probably right. Also, like, if Sora's not there for breakfast, I don't know if you're supposed to care, right? Like, holograms don't need food. We made our way to the kiosk. Everyone okay with hot dogs? But I want a chicken sandwich. Hot dogs? They have hot dogs here? Well, I found a few in the back of the fridge. Must have been on the stealth menu. With that, Takeshi disappeared inside the kiosk. It looked like Takeshi would be chef for it in another day. But wouldn't the... Takeshi let out a surprised yelp from inside. Looking into the shop, there was Takeshi frozen in front of the freezer with the door open. What's wrong? What's wrong is they're gone. Gone? What are? The stuff! The hot dog stuff! The sausages that were in here are gone. Now, I'll bet they weren't there to start with. Oh! That would explain why an invisible person would decide to participate in the game of tag. If the invisible person is the dog. Because the dog doesn't have motives, right? It's just a dog. And, like, I got on this train of thought because, like, sausages going missing made me think of dogs. Right? Because, like, presumably the dog would be stealing the sausages. I don't know how the dog would get inside the fridge, but, like, that sounds pseudo-plausible, right? Like, the dog has a cloaking field and was playing in the game of Kick the Can. The theory falls apart a little bit when you take into account the fact that the can was standing, like, exactly where it had been, right? Presumably a dog doesn't have enough sort of discipline to put it back in exactly the same place, or not even discipline, just doesn't have any reason to. So that's probably not actually the case, but that's my headcanon until the game establishes what actually happened, or I come up with a better theory. I'll bet there weren't any there to start with. No, they were here when I checked last night. I found them when I made dinner last night. You think they were stolen? By whom? I don't know. Damn it, who would do something like that? I mean, realistically, I'm blaming the hot dogs going missing on Coco. I don't know how or why, but she's basically the only one unaccounted for. So, it seems plausible that it's her fault. But, yeah, I'm still super confused about Kick the Can. Takeshi slammed the door violently shut. Calm down, we're not out of food, and we'll just go with the regular menu. Ah, chicken sandwiches are back on the menu, boys! Jeez. Just forget about it and start cooking. I'm starving. Me too. You and I were of the same opinion. We weren't expecting hot dogs to begin with, and I was hungry. Takeshi still looked peeved. Maybe it was because he was hungry too. The first thing we had to do was fill our stomachs. In the end, we gave up on hot dogs and went with our standby menu, chicken sandwiches, for breakfast. When everyone had a Takeshi-made sandwich in hand, we sat down for a lively and fun breakfast together. You and Sarah were especially boisterous. Takeshi said that the two of them easily made as much noise as 3 or more people. But that was just Takeshi being himself. The two of them never seemed to run out of things to talk about and kept jabbering away cheerfully about the most meaningless things. Hinaku, do you remember Mr. Konishi, the teacher at our school? Konishi? Oh, you mean Connie? The music teacher that was built like a tank and a completely crazy animal lover? Yeah, that Connie. Still there. Been around for ages. You know what? The other day he bought a robotic dog. No kidding. He did? That mechanic phobe? Yeah, but his pets kept dying on him. And he'd take time off. I think it just wore him down. And that's sad. When I was still going to that school, he was trying to bring one of his pets back through cloning. What? The clone got sick and died too. I swear he's cursed. Wait, he actually went through with it? That's the part that, like, surprises me even more. But really, that Connie, I tell you, that robot dog looks so much like the real thing that I bet he's treating it like a normal pet. So wait, is this dog of ours a robot dog? Is that what I'm supposed to take away from this conversation? Is it not just, like, idle chit-chat? Like, foreshadowing the fact that, Coco's dog is a robot too? Hey, didn't you have a robotic dog at your house? Yep, sure do. Actually, it's my mom's, though. Oh, okay, so not only are robotic dogs, like, a thing, they're also, like, a common thing. Interesting. That is, information I did not have 30 seconds ago. I think it's one of those really old types, but it just keeps ticking along happily. Never breaks. Thinking back on it, Mayo, you never came over to my house to play, did you? You have to next time. I'll show you it. Really? Sounds good, if I get the chance. You can come over anytime. We're friends, right? I think she's more concerned about, like, drowning. Yeah, of course. Hey, can I ask you something? Just then, Takeshi jumped into their conversation. Eh? What? You two seem to be close, but how do you know each other? Oh, we didn't tell you? Takeshi shook his head as he gulped down cola. You and Sarah are from the same school. You graduated already. I think she said that she was at, Humacon Girls High School until this last March. I answered for them, but you nodded. And when you was a senior, Sarah entered the school as a scholarship student, you added. A scholarship student? I never heard that word before. Wait, seriously? Do you mean one of those people that sneaks in the back door? You always have such a twisted take on everything. No, I don't. Half as mean-spirited as you. Due to my situation at home, I never really planned on going to high school. But the principal of Humacon was a friend of this family and helped me get in as a scholarship student. He didn't want her unpolished genius to go to waste. It sounded like Sarah was a bit of a protege and sort of famous. Whoa. Sarah's amazing. This and the information from the day before about Sarah's computer skills made me think that she might be on a different level than the rest of us. It's no big deal, really. Sarah looked bored as she said it. Maybe it was no big deal for her. So you went to the same school but were in different classes? Were you on a team or a club together or something? Yep. Naki was the leader of the school club I joined as a freshman. After eating the sandwiches, Sarah held up the pop can with both hands and gazed at the ceiling with a distant look in her eyes. That was a year ago. Right after I'd entered Humacon. It was a sunny spring afternoon after class. A light wind made the cherry blossoms dance in the schoolyard and dust gently tickled the nose. There were groups of new students walking packaged in starched new school uniforms and expressions full of nervousness and expectations. There were senior students eagerly calling out to them to join their clubs. It was probably a scene played out on most school campuses. As I let my imagination run wild, I was looking around the campus trying to get a feel for my new surroundings. All of a sudden, from among the din of voices and activity, somebody called out to me. Hey, you there! I stopped. Looking in the direction of the voice was a girl student, her face one big smile. From the ribbon on her uniform, it was clear that she was a senior. Her hair was cut short enough that it just hid her ears. It also made her look like a go-getter. When I pointed at myself to see if she meant me, she nodded, smiling. Yeah, I meant you. The smiling girl approached me. You have a minute? Sure you do, right? If you're up for it, can I talk with you? Don't worry, it won't take much of your time. What was it with this person? I wondered if she were trying to pick me up, or I had a bad feeling about the situation. Excellent, always trust your gut. Seeing my skeptical face, the girl with the bob haircut tried to explain herself. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to... I simply wanted to... I was just wondering if you'd like to join our club. So that was it. I wondered how many people had asked me the same question. I was pretty sick of the whole thing. No, thank you. I'm not interested. Oh, really? Have you already decided to join somewhere? No. Well then. I've decided not to join anything. Oh, don't say that. Wouldn't you just come take a look at a club room? No, thank you. I'll bet you're wondering what our club is all about. Not in the least. Okay. Just come take a look. You don't bite. I said... Listen, stop talking, shut up, and come with me. So the persistent senior dragged me to their club room half by force. So you was that girl? You got it. She hasn't changed a bit. I mean, you're exactly the same, you. Be quiet. I was desperate then. There was nothing else I could do. Why were you so eager to get Sarah to join? It was a matter of life or death for the club. Could have been the end of us. She means they were short on members and were about to fold. Oh, I see. I mean, including Nakyu, there were only 3 members. That's pretty grim. I was about to graduate that year, so we had to get new members or we would have to close. I couldn't just stand by and watch the club that we had built go to waste. Well, I guess I see what you mean. So, it was the only choice I had if our club was going to survive. Kidnapping? I feel like if the only choice available to you is kidnapping, then you've done something wrong somewhere along the line. So exactly what kind of club was it? We were a robust model of an intelligent beacon of education while working in the public interest. That's roundabout that I feel like she's trying to avoid the question. Wow. Takeshi took a swing of his cola. And? What'd you guys do? We were hackers. Geez, that's gross. You spewed cola everywhere. Stupid. Hacking is not robust, and certainly isn't in the public interest. What are you talking about? It's a crime, that's why. You don't know what you're talking about. Hacking isn't a crime. Huh? Sure. Takeshi looked at me. His eyes said, what the heck is she talking about? We're gonna say we get it. I think that's important for the route. Oh well, I figured that I have to explain it. Takeshi, listen. Originally, hacking as a word meant the rhythmical manipulation of a computer. People that could do this were called hackers. That evolved into the word hacker for technicians and research computer experts. Probably what you're thinking about is the hacking they talk about in the news, meaning a crime committed using a computer. Like when someone steals secret information, or destroys data via computer. But that's a mistake. That kind of thing is called cracking. It's completely different. And the people that do this are known as crackers. You need to make a distinction between them. What's the matter, everyone? Hey, kid. Are you sure you've lost your memory? Well, anyway, you get it now. There's really no connection whatsoever between the word hacking and criminal activity. It was an intelligence gathering for us to gather. It was an intelligent gathering for us to gather to try to boost our computer skills. Oops, excuse my ignorance. I'm just surprised that you was involved in an indoor club. Oh, I was doing all kinds of things. All said, I must have been involved with 7 groups. Wow, I see. Seems excessive. And Sarah just joined right up then, huh? Nope. Didn't? She didn't join the club without a fight. Mayo is Mayo, after all. That ambiguous comment, you got a distant look in her eye and started to speak. That day, I could have taken Mayo to our club room. But... Slide. This is our hacking club room. Go on in. Huh? What's the matter? Kinda cramped. Go ahead. It really is cramped. Well, I suppose. You have tons of stuff. I suppose. I mean, there's no way I'll fit in here. I suppose not. Like always, our little one-room club room was so cluttered there was nowhere to even walk. Several computers and a steel rack covered the 3 walls, and the floor was covered in a tangle of cables. In what open space there was, computers without covers and bound-up printouts were piled high. A stuffed animal bumblebee, a button with a picture of a nuclear missile blasting off, an unidentified object X, and other stuff were scattered around, almost completely covering the floor. If Mayo had been a clean freak, we would have lost her right there. Oh, Nakyu, is that a new member? A girl stood from in front of the computer, her chair nearly buried. She was the head of the club. She always wore glasses with black frames and kept her hair in 2 braids. Her name was, I forgot. That's right, we just barely avoided having our club fooled. So as I answered her, I hopped from one open inch of floor space to the next and into the room. I haven't decided to join yet. Sarah was still contemplating how best to enter the room. So where's your partner? Out with a cold. I heard one is going around. Gotta be careful. Hanging out in a place like this would be even more strange if you didn't get ill. Sarah gingerly entered the room as if searching for one foothold and then another. Every took she stepped, her footsteps were punctuated with a crunching noise, as if something were breaking. Of course, we didn't pay any attention to it. Okay, now's your chance to get a sense of what our club is all about. Please, sit down. I unearthed a chair from the pile of junk and gestured to Sarah to sit. I'm only here to look. Alright. If you still have doubts, just give it a try. It's pretty fun. Can I ask you something first? Anything. This is a hacking club, right? Right? But it looks like the only things on the screen are games. Well, that's true. I crossed my arms and nodded seriously several times. Actually, we just call ourselves a hacking club. none of our current members can really program. Everyone that could graduated. Hello? Even games can have meaning. They aren't bad for helping you get used to computers. Yes? What is it? I'll be upfront about this. Getting involved with me will only get you into trouble. I mean... Oh, morning, kid. Look, we're in danger of losing our club as it is. Nothing could be worse than you not joining. Wait a minute. I'm super confused. Why is kid capitalized there? The only times that kid is supposed to be capitalized is when they're talking about, like, kid, like our current protagonist, right? I'm super confused. I'm super confused. Like, is that a typo? Is that a, like, massive unintentional spoiler? Is that, like, a hint? I'm super confused, but I'm gonna move on, and I'm gonna think about it later. Look, we're in danger of losing our club as it is. Nothing could be worse than you not joining. You mind if I touch this? Sarah pointed at the keyboard. Oh, be my guest. You operate it by, I'm fine. I know how to use it. She sat in the chair, took the mouse, and stared at the monitor. She opened several files. Finding the one she was looking for, she opened it up and started editing it. Uh-oh. She's gonna delete System 32. She didn't even glance at the keyboard. She just tapped non-stop. The speed of her touch typing was incredible. Wow. Amazing. When she had finished typing, Sarah opened a different piece of software and started typing in commands. The hard disk whirred to life and finally... Wow! Suddenly, the face of a bumblebee appeared on all of the monitors in the room. That face stared out at us and winked. Then all of the faces stuck out their tongues at us. What? What's going on? I can't get this computer to listen to me. The next instant, snap, all of the computers suddenly shut down at once. Is she trolling them? She's totally trolling them. That's super funny. The two of us stood there stunned. Finally, Sarah stood up and said quietly, "You get it now? Nothing good can come of hooking up with me. So, don't." And then she left. What in the... What happened? The computer won't boot up. You sure it's not unplugged? That's not it. It's plugged in, but it won't start up. Wait, did she just brick all of their computers? That's even funnier. I mean, it's super rude, but it's super funny. Huh. She meant that the software had been destroyed. And the problem wasn't limited to just one machine. All the computers in that room that were connected to the network were in the same state. No way, that girl, oh my god, she totally just bricked all their machines. That's so rude! Could she have cracked the whole system that quickly? Looking down, there was a stuffed animal bumblebee glaring up nastily at me. No kidding. No kidding. Jeez, that's crazy. Yeah, that's also probably super illegal. Well, Naki was so persistent it was annoying. Yeah, but you didn't have to... So Sarah didn't join? What? Then that would mean that... No, you got it backwards. I didn't say she didn't join, did I? After that, Naki came bothering me, like, every day. Even though she did that to your computers? Because she did that. Basically, you had been taken by Sarah's genius. By your genius for programming. Day after day, her fixation drove her to call on Sarah. Finally, Sarah was overwhelmed by youth's enthusiasm and joined the club. That was how Mayo and I become friends. Okie dokie. Wait, seriously? I believe they have a word for that. This word is Stockholm Syndrome. With that long story finally over, we all stretched. Well, we finished eating. What do you say? Should we head back to the conference room? Sure. Tsugumi hadn't eaten, but there was no point in waiting around for her. We took our sandwich back to the conference room. I'm gonna step out for a bit. Huh? Where to? Just a little walk. Hey, you keep poking your nose into a girl's privacy, and she might start disliking you. You shrugged and patted me on the head. What about me? Sorry, Mayo, but I think I'll go alone. Okay. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. You shot the dejected Sarah a smile as she headed quickly toward the door. Hey, I don't care where you go, but if something happens, you come right back. You shot Takeshi a thumbs up on the way out the door. She was on the way to the conference room. Ah! I looked up at the ceiling. What's that? I had thought I had seen something for a second. But when I had done a double take, I didn't see anything. Hey, what's wrong? Even with Takeshi calling out to me, I couldn't tear my eyes from the ceiling. I wonder. I don't know what it was, but I swear I saw something. Saw something? Like what? Well, I didn't really see it. I just have a bad feeling about the second floor somewhere. What the heck are you talking about? I think we should check that floor one more time. Saying that, Takeshi slapped me on the shoulder. Suddenly I came back to myself. Don't worry about it. If something's up, Sora would warn us about it, right? Yeah, you're right. But still. Looks like I'm not the only one who's tired. Yeah. I wondered if that really was all to it. All there was to it, rather. I tried to remember what I had seen while I was walking. But it was like waking up after a dream and having the dream slip away. I couldn't remember it. When we returned to the conference room, Tsugumi was there. And, to our surprise, she was eating. No. Oh my. Ah! The reason we were all so surprised was because Tsugumi was eating a hot dog. Wait, she was the culprit? That's pretty funny. What? You thief! What are you so mad about? Tsugumi was indifferent. That just served to fuel Takeshi's fury. I thought everyone was sick of chicken sandwiches, and Hiro was going to make... And you... Just calm down. I tried to calm him down, but Tsugumi just continued to munch on our hot dog without a care. I think it's pretty selfish of you to keep them all to yourself. Selfish pig. I hope you get fat like a whale and drown in the Mariana Trench, you hog. All to myself. Tsugumi polished off the last bite and turned to face Takeshi as she wiped her hands. I'm not sure what you're talking about. This is the only one I ate. What? When I looked, there was enough for everyone. Now they're all gone. That soon-to-be fat stomach of yours. Well, I didn't really count how many there were. Maybe the rats got them. Pathetic liar! The only rat here is you! Takeshi's fury only grew while Tsugumi stayed calm. She brushed away the hair from her forehead and stood up quietly. I'll ask you one more time. Why are you so mad? I told you, it's because you ate everyone's food! And I told you, this was all I ate. And besides... Tsugumi glared at Takeshi. Are you sure that is the real reason you were angry? What? What are you talking about? You sure it wasn't because it threw off your schedule? Schedule? Well, yeah, because the hot dog that I wanted everyone to eat are gone now. Tsugumi stared unflinchingly at Takeshi. The two glared at each other. What is this about a schedule? That sounds suspicious. I am, suspicious. Schedule. What schedule is Takeshi on? And how would Tsugumi be throwing it off by eating his hot dogs? Sarah and I were in no position to step in between the two. All we could do was watch to see what happened. It was then that... Suddenly, a low metallic sound reverberated through the installation. It was a dull, muffled sound. What was that? This whole place just shook, a little. The two turned their attention to the new situation, forgetting their fight. Hey, kid, what was that? I don't know. Hey, this doesn't have anything to do with that bad feeling you had earlier, does it? I shook my head. I don't know. Maybe we should ask Sora. Did you call for me? Sora appeared in the air out of nowhere and descended in front of us. Oh, Sora! Hey, Sora, where were you? I'm terribly sorry, I overslept. Sora looked embarrassed. That's not how sleeping works. Overslept, but you're... Nah, we'll save that for later. Hey, did something just happen? There was an awful noise just now. One of the shafts that supports this floor has started to warp. We didn't see any signs of it yesterday. Well, yes, it wasn't in my calculations. It appears as if the ocean currents may have influenced this outcome. How dangerous are we talking about here? Well, it should be within the margin of error, but no, wait a second. There's an anomaly in one of the pressure-regulating pipelines at White Stock's warehouse. What are the pressure-regulating pipes? These pipelines are responsible for adjusting the pressure inside the multi-layered bulkheads comprising Limu. If any of them should rupture, for whatever reason, I'm incapable of repairing them. The anomaly is only slight, so you shouldn't have to hurry, but I think it's best if somebody goes down to check on it. Would you please go for me? Sure, leave it to me. Takeshi nodded right away. I guess that's that then. What? I couldn't quite make out what Tsugumi had said. Then, I'll go too. She unexpectedly volunteered for the task. Tsugumi, what? You got a problem with me tagging along? No, that's not it. It's just... Don't get me wrong. We've got a situation on our hands. You and I will call it truce. Well, if we're going to fix something, we'll need tools, right? I know my way around a workshop. Alright, let's go. I'll help too. Okay, you can come too, Sarah. So what happened with you anyway? She's not back yet? I wonder if she didn't notice the shaking just now. There's no way she could have missed that. Do you know where she is? I'm sorry. Unfortunately, right now some sensors are out of order. I can't scan the whole complex. I wonder what happened to you. Hey, kid, will you go look for Nakyu? Huh? Me? Yeah, I'm a little worried about her. I was also worried about Sarah and everyone going off suddenly like that. An extra set of hands couldn't hurt. Takeshi, I'll go have a look around for you. Alright, it's in your hands then, kid. If something should happen, use Lemma to contact me. Alright, see you later. I ran through the corridor kicking up spray as I went. You! Hey, you! It was strange. I thought that maybe she wasn't on that floor. Just then, Sora's voice came to me from the voice converter. Kid, it's me, Sora. I know where Yu is. She's fine, of course. Huh? Where is she? It's White Stalk, in the security office. Security office? Why is she there again? I don't know. You contacted me with her whereabouts. I got it. Well, I'll go to the warehouse as well then. No, you contacted me with her whereabouts. Man, again, the stupid pronoun thing. Why do you have to be named after a pronoun? Good God. No, that will not be necessary. Why not? Fortunately, to the extent that I have been able to investigate, there was no major damage. Sora added that there were enough people to do the required work. It would be better for you to go to Yu's location. To where Yu is? Yes. Something is strange there. Strange? I can't say for sure, but I sense something. So I think that someone should go to investigate. Wouldn't it be better if you went instead of me? If something were strange, I don't know what I could do. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, now I must go to the control room. Control room? Is something else wrong? No, I have to do a little maintenance on Lemma. I see. I'm sorry, but do you think you could manage it for me? Sure. Don't have anything better to do. I'll have to check on you. Security office, right? Yes, thank you. I climbed to the second floor via the emergency stairs. I called to Yu via the intercom on the side of the security office door. Yu, it's me. Can I come in? Huh? Kid! After a bit, the door opened. What's up? What are you doing here? Yu was unable to hide her surprise. Sora was right. Strange might have been the word for it. Sora told me to come. Sora? Yeah, she said that something was strange and that she wanted me to take a look? I couldn't think of a better way to put it and blurted out the truth. Is this a bad time? Yu slumped her shoulders as if defeated and heaved out a sigh. Oh well, I guess that's how it goes. If you think about it, Sora has ears everywhere. Well, quit standing there, come on in. Alright. You want some coffee? I followed Yu into the room. It smelled like hot coffee. In the corner of the room was an ancient siphoned coffee machine percolating up dark liquid. Yu offered me a chair and I sat down. She turned to a coffee maker to pour coffee. What are you up to in here? I asked Yu this bluntly as I leaned back in the chair. I'm looking into something. Looking into something? White steam curled into the air from where she was pouring the coffee. Is this something that you have to hide from everyone? I thought it came out a little too accusatory. Maybe I was a little peeved that she was hiding something from us. Here's your coffee. She turned back toward me with a white cup in each hand. She handed one to me. It's hot, so be careful. Oh, thanks. A white cup, white steam, only the liquid inside was black. Limu's logo was printed on the cup. Well, where should I start? Yu sat down next to me and took a sip of her coffee. Then she gradually started to talk. I told you this before, right? About why I got this job at Limu? Looking for clues about my father, who disappeared. I nodded. He went missing 17 years ago, and I came hoping to find a hint as to why. You said that the last place he was seen was in Limu, right? Oh, are you investigating that? Yes. Yu nodded and shifted the cup to her other hand. Information about my father. It was 17 years ago. They said that there was a big accident here. Accident? I don't know really much about it. Even looking at old news clippings, I wasn't able to gather much information. What do you mean? The cause of the accident, specific damage, what happened afterward, all the coverage was vague. I figured that the media didn't really know the details about what happened either. Somebody or something powerful clamped down on information. That's interesting. An accident 17 years ago shrouded in mystery. And my father that disappeared 17 years ago. He worked here until right before the accident. I can guess about some of what happened from what we already know. You think that the accident had something to do with the disappearance of your father? That's right. I I thought that here, in Lemma, there would be some trace to why I came. But since I started working, I haven't had any time to look into it. I couldn't even get close to Lemma's database. I guess it makes sense. I was pretty naive. The chair squeaked as you slumped back into it. She just stared at the ceiling. But, you know what? Opportunity knocked. Opportunity? You don't mean this accident? Yep. You placed the cup next to the console. Now I have access to Lemma. Thanks to the accident, I may have been able to get a step closer to my goal. Well, I suppose it has also put my life in danger, but... You joked as she shrugged her shoulders. I'll ask you one more time, but do you have to keep it all a secret? That's a toughie. I mean, I work here, but I don't have any authority. It's just a part-time gig. Taking advantage of this accident to gain access to secret information in Limu. Normally you might call this industrial espionage? Kind of looting, maybe? That's right, stealing information. It's a pretty decent crime. But I suppose there was no way I could have kept it hidden. Sora knows everything that goes on relating to Lemma. I think she would understand your situation if you explained it to her. You growled as she put the cup to her lips. I wonder about that. I too took a sip of coffee. It was super bitter and super thick. So, did you find anything out? That's the problem. Tap, tap, tap. Saying that, you started manipulating the keyboard. One of the monitors on the wall shifted from footage of an observation camera to an image of a computer desktop. In the middle of it, one window was open. You explained as she stared at the screen. This is the authorization screen to connect to the network. Authorization screen? This is where the system assesses the user for proper authorization, so it's a login prompt? I see. I felt like I kind of got it, but not really. Don't worry, it's a login prompt. It's fairly straightforward. I'm attempting to connect to Lemma's C level, meaning I'm trying to access classified information. But if anyone could easily access important data, that would be a security disaster, right? Okay. That's why there's a screen where the computer asks, hey, who's trying to look at this? As she spoke, you used the mouse to click on the box for name. Inside the box were written the words, Yukie Tanaka. Of course, there's no way I could access the system using my name. I'm using someone else's name to get me in. But anyone might think to try that, right? I suppose so. Obviously, the people who programmed this aren't stupid. So to prevent false authorization, they have methods to check people's identity. The screen then says, if you really are Yukie Tanaka, please show me your password. You then use the mouse to circle around the box for password. It was still blank. And what about the password? I'm working on that right now. What, you don't know it? I don't know it. So you haven't looked up anything yet? It's not that I haven't been able to. I haven't been able to get in. So you're stuck. Yep, stuck. You nodded and gave a big sigh. So wait, so she's trying to illegitimately access this database, right? And they've been here for what, 3 days now, and she hasn't gotten past the login prompt? That is less progress than one would hope to make in like 3 days. Especially given that their timeline is like 5 days. Also, isn't Sarah like supposed to be an OP hacker? Like, why couldn't she just delegate, right? Tap, tap, tap. After a second's pause, Yu was back tapping on the keyboard. There was nothing for me to do. I just sat there watching Yu do her thing. Wait, what is she even doing? Is she trying to, like, brute force the password? Like, what is she trying to accomplish here? Specifically. The password blank filled in as she typed. Tap, tap, tap. The digits she typed in were blocked out by stars, so that anyone watching wouldn't know what the word was. I mean, in order to play this game, you need to be on a computer, right? And most computers have login prompts, so they can at least assume that the player knows what's going on here. Like, I feel like I'm being condescended to a little bit. Tap. You tap the enter key. The access denied. Invalid name or password. Oh my god, she totally is. She's just trying to brute force this person's password. And has been, presumably, for the past several days. There's no way that that is the most efficient way to go about this process. So you immediately tapped in another line of letters. Tap, tap, tap. Tap. The access denied. Invalid name or password. Tap, tap, tap. Hey, you? What? I was just wondering, who is Yukie Tanaka? Looking at the name, I was wondering is she a relative or something? She's my mom. Your mom worked here? Works. She is working here, as in the present tense. Hey, your mom researches archaeology, right? You said something about that yesterday, I think. Yeah, so what? You answered, her eyes still glued to the computer. But archaeology has nothing to do with theme parks, right? My thoughts exactly. But I figure that Limu could probably offer her a lot more money than some small university research department with next to no budget. Is Limu doing some kind of archaeological research? Well, at least it's pretending to. Huh? It seems like they're doing a survey related to the ruins of the Lemurian continent. Near the end of the 20th century, some oceanic ruins were discovered near Okinawa, right? Lieblich Pharmaceuticals spread rumors that the ruins somehow were evidence of the existence of Lemuria. They've poured loads of cash into the archaeological survey of the seafloor. I have no idea what the company is up to. Mom was involved in that project too? Apparently, but I don't know the details. But I think it's all just an act. I think she's just taking the money and researching something else. Something else? I told you yesterday, didn't I? An ancient idea of the third eye. Your mom sounds tricky. Well, she is. Still, I think I understand how she feels. Even if they dug up all the ocean floors of the world, there's still no way that they would find the ruins of the Lemurian continent. Everyone knows that it was a complete waste of time. Even the higher-ups at Lieblich Pharmaceutical probably know. But they still have to go about pretending to do research. I wonder why. It sounds like a waste to me. Who knows? But it's a company we're talking about, so I'll bet it has to do with money. There's no way for us to know, and I don't really care. Tap, tap, tap. Oh, that's right. I've been meaning to ask you, but... What do you mean your mom is researching the third eye? In a nutshell, it basically means that any dimension n may only be understood in its entirety when viewed from a dimension at least n+1. Huh? It didn't sound very basic to me. What did she mean? Essentially, only by gaining a sense of the fourth dimension can we really fully sense the whole of what's going on around us. Duh? I had no idea what she was talking about. Like when the third eye is opened up or something. Yu's hand stopped typing there for an instant and she popped her neck loudly. She reached out for her cup and took a sip of coffee. I think yesterday you said something about evolution. About losing that organ thingy on the head, No, not there. It's here, and it's called the third eye, and it has to do with supernatural powers. Quite seriously. It's like the third eye on the forehead of the Hindu god Shiva. Like they say in yoga about the Agya Chakra, or the third eye chakra. Or the astral light training by sages. Or like the esoteric Buddhism with the famous monk Kobo Daishi's ascetic training and invoking of the Kokuzo deity of space through the Kokuzo Kumonjiho. Like the all-knowing eye in Tibetan Tantric Buddhism. I felt like I was being bombarded with exotic words. The conversation had completely left me behind. I think I mentioned it yesterday, but when the third eye opens, true wisdom is apparent and all becomes visible. At least, that's what they say. That's if the story is real. So let's see. That means, in summary, it goes something like this. Your mom is researching an ancient concept called the third eye or third perspective. And once somebody has acquired the third eye, they can sense the fourth dimension and see the whole of the world. And that's in line with the legend of the third eye. Does that about cover it? Wait, who is saying what there? Does that about cover it? Well, to hear my mom tell it, the third eye and third perspective are the same. I don't quite get it. Why would a sense of the fourth dimension allow someone to understand the whole world? Also, isn't the fourth dimension, like, usually time? Like, aren't they experiencing the fourth dimension currently? I don't know. I was never one for this sort of theoretical mumbo-jumbo. 3 dimensions is enough for me. Or why is a sense of the fourth dimension necessary? We're seeing the world the way we are right now. I don't get the connection between the third eye and third perspective and the fourth dimension. There were lots of things I didn't get. Alright, I need some water. My throat is killing me. The whole concept seemed to be beyond my understanding. Alright, break's over. Tap, tap, tap. You started working again without answering my question. Hey, you. Sorry, but let's make that the end of today's lecture. The explanation from here is pretty hard. And it's pretty obvious I'm busy, right? If you really want to know, next time I'll explain it in an easy-to-swallow way. You didn't say anything more. Okay. I decided to give up for the time being. I remembered I was still holding the cup. I figured not drinking it would be a waste, so I drank it down. Gulp. Ugh, it's so bitter. It was completely cold, too. Ah, I give up. He muttered this and looked down dejectedly. She leaned back in the chair and it squeaked. In the end, she hadn't found any new clues. Actually, she hadn't even gotten past the authorization screen. Access denied, valid name or password. That message had been displayed again and again. It still sat in the middle of the screen. You was really down. You couldn't get in? The password? Nope. Don't you have any ideas? I mean, presumably she has several ideas. She's been spending the past, day putting them in. Like what? I mean, when somebody sets a password, it's usually a word that has to do with them. If they suck at making passwords, maybe. A birthday or phone number for something short. Even somebody that wanted to think of something no one would know would probably come up with a phrase related to their past. Or they would just pick, several random words from the dictionary. I believe Randall Monroe suggested a correct horse battery staple. And, you're not gonna brute force that with, your hands. I mean, there's almost nobody that uses a meaningless combination of numbers and letters. I mean, maybe I run in different circles than you, but, I'm pretty sure several of my friends, and for some accounts myself, use meaningless combinations of numbers and letters. If they did, they'd probably forget it. And if they forget it, then a password is meaningless. I know that. I tried all the things I could think of. I tried them backward, and as an anagram, and all possible patterns I can imagine. But it's no good. I'm just a normal person when it comes to computers. I'm no hacker or cracker. I don't have any illegal programs and can't just type one out right now. Eve stuck her hands up in the air, signaling her surrender. Man, if they, succeed in brute forcing Use Mom's password, then I'm gonna be really disappointed in Use Mom's password security. Even my, weak-ass passwords, I am relatively confident that it would take you less than 5 days to brute force your way through. Of course, now that I say that, one of you enterprising little sons of bitches is gonna try and compromise my YouTube account, but I guess that's the price that comes with the territory. I know, Sarah could probably do it, right? Yeah, I suggested that half an hour ago. I remember that Sarah was a top-level hacker. You said that Sarah took first prize in some code-breaking contest, right? I bet she'd make a password-breaking program for you. Maybe. You didn't seem keen on the idea. Why don't you ask her? I could, but I don't want to. I don't want to involve her in this. I thought that maybe she was still concerned about the criminal element of the idea. But you don't mind getting me involved? Well, you came and involved yourself, I suppose. But at this rate, you probably wouldn't find a clue during her lifetime. I wanted to help her out. It's a way of thanking her for helping me. There is just one clue. You took a piece of paper from atop the console. What's that? This was inside my mom's machine. I sneaked into her research room before coming here. I was looking for clues about my father, of course. When I went in, I saw that her computer was on. Looking at it, I saw that there was a text file entitled Password. That's not secure. My game seems to be crashing. I'm gonna save here just in case. When I opened it, it was only one line. There was a Japanese sentence typed inside it. Then you saw the password. Sure, I saw it. But I don't remember it. Oh my god! What? I was in a hurry. I tried to take a note of it before I was found out. But I didn't see a pen or anything around. And there were no discs or anything that I could copy it to. Thinking about it now, I should have sent it to myself by email. Oh my god, you're so incompetent. But I was in a rush and didn't think about it then. Suddenly, I thought I'd try to print it out. As soon as it stopped printing, my mom came back. I snatched the paper that was in the tray and jammed it into my pocket. And then you, put it through the wash or something? Huh? What do you mean? So the paper you have now is the one with the password on it? You held the paper without saying held out the paper without saying anything. Huh? What's this? Barcode? Wait, so the printer was messed up? Are you supposed to, hold it at some, ridiculous angle? I'm not sure what to make of that. Also, odds are, if you walk in on your daughter trying to, like, with like a file open that has your password in plain text on it, using the printer, presumably a sane person would then immediately change their password on everything, right? It looks like it, but it seems different than normal barcodes. It's got 10 lines? Yep. What does this have to do with anything? Who knows? About how many characters were in that password? You said it was in Japanese, right? About how many characters was it? I don't remember very well. Maybe 10 characters, give or take. Was it all written in Japanese? Any numbers? I'm pretty sure it was just Japanese. I don't remember any numbers or anything else. I wonder which end of this is the top. You got me. Or could it be written vertically? No way. If you printed out a text file, why would it come out as a barcode? Some, I think, text programs have issues with Japanese, because I don't think Japanese is Unicode. But I'm not super familiar with the limitations there of like text programs, so I might just be talking on my ass here. Who knows? No hints? Hints. If you don't know the answer, if I don't know the answer, how can I give you a hint? But you have to remember something, right? Like, did it have to do with food or a person's name? You shook her head and spoke. I saw it, but only for a second. How could you forget something so important? Well, at least I know my address, and phone number, and birthday, and my social security number, and I even know my name. Wow. Rude. That was cold. Now who's forgetting the important things? I looked again at the paper we thought contained the password. I was obsessed with solving the puzzle we had found. It was frustrating. Now who is forgetting the important things? What could I say to that? It's not like I wanted to lose my memory. Watch this. I'll remember everything just to show you. But first, I had to figure this out. I had my mind set on it. I almost felt like solving this was a rite of passage that would help restore my memory. Oh, I see. This is the puzzle I have to solve, and I have to solve it, like, right now to get the good end. Alright, so we're definitely gonna save here. And we're gonna do what the guide tells me, because I definitely don't get it. But apparently I'm supposed to say I got it, so I got it. Could it be? I thought for a second. Apparently I'm supposed to tilt it. Oh, hey, I had that right. You're supposed to, like, put it at an angle. What if I tilt it? I thought that if I tilted it a little, I might be able to see something. Completely vertical. Tilted almost completely vertical. I got it! Listen, if you take the paper and set it like this... Man, that's, Huh. Unfortunately, I don't know half those kanji, so I can't actually read that. So it's like ocean, moon... No, is that like lie, sky, ni, something, something, shi, time, ring? Oh, that's... The middle ones are like fall and... It's like, the Kyo from Tokyo and Kyoto. Is it fall? Can't remember. I definitely am supposed to know this, but I can't make heads or tails of it. So we're just gonna let the game tell me what it says. What? Let me see. The empty fall sky, a single cuckoo calls out, brings a chill to me. Huh. What is this? What? Let me see that. You grabbed the slip of paper from my hand. Then she copied me and set the paper sideways in the same way. You're right. Amazing! Kid, you're amazing! You grabbed my hand and shook it happily. Well, I'm just glad that they didn't break the password by brute force, because that would have been super annoying. But she didn't stop there. She pulled me close in a big bear hug. Squeeze. My face was pressed hard against her bust. It was a nice fit. A little too nice. I struggled for air. God damn it. I came here for mysteries. I give up. Give mercy. I almost felt dangerously excited by the softness of her. God damn it. Keep it in your pants, dude. We did it! We did it! Yay! Finally, you let me go. She jumped around gleefully like a rabbit. I was glad she was happy, even if she did almost crush me. Watching you all happy like that seemed to wash away my irritation and fatigue. The stress I was feeling simply faded away. It was like the winter frost melting away under the spring sun. I get it now. You can't see it from right above it. But if you look from the side, I see it now. Also, why do they have their printer set up that way? That's super obnoxious. But why do you suppose it came out in a barcode like this? printer's probably in bad shape. Think so? Hard to believe that it would make a print like this. I don't care about that now. I care about it a little. Anyway, as long as I have the password, things are fine. The empty false sky, a single cuckoo calls out, brings a chill to me. I think this is a variation of the famous haiku, The Empty June Sky, a single cuckoo calls out, brings a chill to me, by Shiki Masaoka. So if I input it like this, the empty false sky, a single cuckoo calls out, brings a chill to me. Wow. Alright, let's try this for our password. A recharged you faced the screen triumphantly. But, tap tap tap. The empty false sky, a single cuckoo calls out, brings a chill to me. Okay then. Tap. The access denied, invalid name or password. But you still couldn't get into the C-level information. Just then. What in the... The screen went black. Uh-oh! Somebody found out that you are trying to compromise delicate information. What just happened? I don't know, but it looks like it automatically shut down the authorization screen. Huh? After a moment, the screen returned to normal. You pecked away at the keyboard and called up the authorization screen again. Tap, tap, tap. Tap. Beep. Access denied. Currently, this name cannot be logged in. Oops. What? What is this? Wait, was it like a trap? Did she put a plain text file on her desktop named password that had a kill switch in it? Because that would be super funny. And also kind of clever. What is this? She tried it again. The result was the same. What does this mean? Maybe I entered the wrong password too many times and activated some kind of protection. In other words, Lemma has completely denied access to my mom's name. So we'll have to give up for the time being, I guess. You shrugged exaggeratedly. And you went to so much trouble to read this for me, kid. But from the start, there was no guarantee that what's on the paper is the password. It would make more sense if this were some kind of hint that my mom uses to remember the password. I would certainly hope so, yes. It wouldn't make much sense to call the file password otherwise. It'd be too dangerous. Yeah, that's what I've been saying for forever. Is the password just in, like, June, then? Because it's, like, the one substituted letter? Or word, rather? I wonder why Mom would choose this poem. I wonder what was hidden in the 17 syllables of this poem. There's no answer or end to my questions. A while after that, we heard from Takeshi that repairs on the warehouse had been completed with no problems. We finally gathered again in the conference room. We were killing time. We still couldn't think of any way to escape. Still, we didn't want to feel like we were completely wasting our time. So we all decided to wander around Limu one more time. As we made the rounds, Takeshi said, "What do you think the record is for running from one end of Limu to the other? I think we should try to give the chicken sandwiches a completely new flavor somehow." He made a number of stupid comments. We all, with the exception of Tsugumi, of course, listened half exasperated and half interested. We all knew, as long as we were doing something, it kept our minds off things we couldn't change. Like about how there was no way out, or remembering where we were. We decided to meet at 8 p.m. for dinner. Everyone was left to wander around freely until then. I decided to help you try to repair the infirmary scanning machine. Of course, it was kind of an indirect thank you to her for looking after me when I was feeling down 2 days before. Alright then, shall we get started? You plopped down on the floor with the tools and parts, spreading out the repair manual. Of course, the repairs were Yu's job. I was just there to help. I was getting used to handing her the tools, and I was getting better at predicting which tool would be used next. I thought that if there were an exam for expertise in handling pliers or screws, I would pass with flying colors. But the repairs were tougher than I imagined. You grunted as she stared at the diagram. Still haven't figured it out? Maybe to be quiet, I might. It's not here. She searched all over, but couldn't find the cause of the problem. You said everything looked normal. In other words, there's no sign of anything broken. Jeez, good for nothing, stupid, idiotic. Ah! All of a sudden, you lost her cool, pounded on the diagram, and kicked the toolbox. Wham! Hey, that's not very grown-up of you. You know, you could ask Sora about how to fix it later. You want to clean up for now? Oh, sorry. Hey, so here the two of you are. Oh, hey, Takeshi. What are you doing here, Takeshi? Nothing really. I just thought I'd get some coffee or something to wake me up. What about you two? What are you and the kid up to? Can't tell by looking. If I could, do you think I'd be asking? Takeshi, you think you'd lend us a hand? Sure, I can do that. You want help picking up this stuff? Yep. We split up and started picking up the tools strewn around the room. Screwdrivers and screws had flown all the way to the walls. Do you think we got everything? No, there's one more right there. There's something in the corner. Hey, what's this? Takeshi picked up something that looked like an electric plug. No, it was an electric plug. The cable continued, disappearing onto the floor. It was embedded there. I mean, presumably it goes to the secret room they found. Underneath the infirmary, right? I wonder what this is supposed to power. In the wall was an outlet the same as in the home. Takeshi stuck the plug into the wall. Hey, something's moving. Oh, hey. Looks like it was for that machine over here. Which means it would appear unplugged. Hey, by the way, Takeshi shot a question at me and you, who were speechless. Wait a minute. That was the problem with the machine they were trying to fix? It was unplugged? Oh my god. Someone hold me. I can't handle this anymore. What were you doing here anyway? Don't say it. Don't tell him. Never admit failure? Never admit fault? Just then, somebody else appeared. It was Tsugumi. But when she saw us, she clicked her tongue in an irritated way and turned to leave the room. The door again opened immediately. This time it was Sarah. It could have been my imagination, but she looked kind of angry about something. Sarah stood her ground, blocking the exit so that Tsugumi couldn't leave. Get out of the way. Quit running away and answer. I said out of the way. I said give me an answer. It seemed like the two of them were fighting. I wonder why. I couldn't think of any reason for the two of them would want to fight. If you keep shouting, the three of them will hear. I don't care. Hey, you two, what's up? Takeshi asked this as he approached them. That's what I want to know. Tsugumi said this mixed with a sigh. Then she gave Takeshi the evil eye. What are you all planning anyway? What are we? What are you planning? Stop with the nonsense already. Hey, Maya, what happened? You said it as if to calm Sarah's nerves. She still looked pretty riled up. She was staring at Tsugumi bitterly. Tsugumi... Huh? For an instant I thought that Tsugumi drew up her face up sadly. And get out of my way. As she turned around, Tsugumi tried to push Sarah out of the way. Sarah resisted. So what? Did you run away from him the same as you're trying to run away from me now? Sarah said that as the two of them wrestled. Tsugumi stopped moving. So you did. Sarah crossed her arms tightly. You suck. You are inhuman. Tsugumi lifted up her right hand as if to hit Sarah, but Takeshi grabbed her hand. Hey, calm down! Sarah didn't miss her chance. Slap. Sarah's open palm echoed on Tsugumi's cheek. What is going on here? You little... Ah! The raging Tsugumi threw off Takeshi and stole from Sarah whatever it was she was hiding. She went to throw whatever it was she had against the wall. Ah! But she stopped an instant before. Stop! Takeshi went to grab her arm. Tsugumi's arm went slack and something slipped to the floor. Clattered loudly. Something glittered as it bounced. Was it money? It looked like a pendant. Sarah scooped up the pendant as if she were picking up a fragile piece of ice. Sarah's back quivered tensely. Sarah looked down, dropping her head. Then she squeezed her fist around the pendant. Mayo? You said it softly, but Sarah didn't appear to hear. Sarah lifted her face. Biting her lip, she glared at Tsugumi. Both of her eyes were welling up with tears. Tsugumi stared coldly at Sarah as if she were looking down at her from far above. Sarah withstood the glare and stared back at Tsugumi enraged. She continued to resist silently, trying not to shed tears, not to sob. The scene was just like, how to put it? It was like the emotion that was about to explode to the surface had sunk away to nothingness. The next thing I knew, Tsugumi had turned to leave the room. Sarah still focused her glare on Tsugumi. I looked back and forth between the two of them. Finally, I let my eyes trail off after Tsugumi. Yu was there to help Sarah, but first I wanted to find out what the fight was all about. I ran out of the infirmary and called to Tsugumi. Hey, Tsugumi! But she ignored me and headed for the corridor. Why does it always turn out like this? But if I was tired of everything, I had no choice but to chase after her. Hey, wait! She shot a glance at me, but didn't slow her step. I said, wait! I caught up to her and grabbed her arm, trying to stop her. But she shook off my hand. I told you never to touch me. Sorry. But Tsugumi started walking again as if nothing had happened. Still, I continued after her without giving up. I started talking to her as I walked next to her, peering at her face. Why are you fighting with Sarah? It's none of your business. Tsugumi answered without looking at me, letting me know my questions were unwanted. Don't go poking your nose into things that don't concern you. How can this not concern me? I thought I had said enough. It probably doesn't really have anything to do with me. I don't have the right to go involving myself in people's private affairs. But still. No, well, actually it might have something to do with you. What? Tsugumi strode away. I stood stunned for a moment. I soon pulled myself together and started after her again. No matter how much I called to her, Tsugumi didn't respond. At last, I caught up with her again. We were at the gate for boarding the jellyfish gondola. Finally, Tsugumi pulled up there. And it didn't look as though she had stopped there with any intention of riding the gondola. But it didn't look like she was going to move elsewhere either, or even sit down for that matter. Her eyes were just trained on the half-transparent gondola, which is partially visible beyond the gate. Hey. It looked like she was completely ignoring me. You don't have to respond. Just listen to what I'm going to say. I won't ask you to trust us anymore. That doesn't mean you have to fight with anyone. We're all in the same situation here. We have to help each other. Tsugumi turned and faced me. What an insightful comment. Don't joke around. I'm just telling you exactly how I feel. I figured that I should take the fact that she responded to me as a slight change in attitude. I shot her another question. Why do you think we're your enemies? What reason could you possibly have? I've already told you, I can't trust you. You're all acting suspiciously. I don't know whether you're acting of your own will, but still. I don't get you. What exactly is suspicious? You're trying to do the exact same thing that you did before. The same as what before? If you really have lost your memory, then maybe you don't know. There's gotta be something going on behind the scenes with this accident as well. You mean to tell me you've experienced the same thing as this before? Tsugumi stared at me intensely. I took her look as a yes. In that case, I wondered if the same held true for me. So that means you can foresee what's gonna happen, right? Huh? I'm right, aren't I? So it's not just me then. But then, how come I can see into the future all of a sudden? Wait, what? You can see into the future? See the future. No, the feeling I had was less one of seeing it, and more like knowing the future, or possibly having experienced before. Yeah, I guess there have been a couple moments where he's like, there's a bad thing about to happen. Like when they were at the door to the generator room, and he's like, yeah, don't touch the handle because you're burning your hand, or whatever. And they're like, I don't believe you, and then they dropped water, and the water evaporated, and they're like, okay, we definitely believe you now. Huh, that's weird. I hadn't really given it much thought. Knowing the future, or possibly having experienced it before. Did I know it? Had I experienced it? Why? That was because the same thing was happening again. That's it! You and I must have traveled to the past, Tsugumi. Traveled to the past? So wait, is the entirety of Ever17 like some sort of time loop thing? Or is Kid just tripping? Like, both seem quasi-plausible right now. Yep. The theory I had hit upon excited me. I was sure it almost had to be. I have the same sense. I know the future. Back at the generator room, I knew that the room had built up heat. Take this morning, I had a feeling that there would be trouble in the warehouse. And when I first met Sarah, I felt like I'd experienced something like it before. I think I've probably experienced the same thing in my past. Tsugumi just stared at me. I could clearly see that she was flustered. Hey, tell me your story. When I asked Tsugumi that, it was as if she snapped back to reality, her expression and the look in her eyes back to normal. My story? What, are you kidding? As long as I can't tell if you're in this with the others, I won't tell you anything. I felt dejected, like I'd finally found someone that could share my feelings, but wouldn't. Listen, I told you before, but it would be best for you if you stayed away from them. And me too. Why? You really get bogged down in the why of things, don't you? Why isn't important. She crossed her arms and said this forcefully. But if there is a reason, it's so that things turn out the best for you. For example, your memory loss could be because of them. Huh? That was a shocking idea. Words just about stopped my heart for a moment. What? There's no way. I never even entertained the idea. Tsugumi turned to walk away from me, ignoring me in my state of dismayed confusion. I didn't have any power left to chase after her. Oh, and there's one more thing. As long as we're shooting the breeze, shall I predict a bit of the future for you? I slowly lifted up my face and looked at Tsugumi. She looked serious all of a sudden. Tsugumi predicted that if you continue to let yourself be used by them, on the 7th, you will die. And with that ominous declaration, I guess we can wait for tomorrow to see the fallout. Hope you all have a lovely day, and I will catch you on the morrow.